it's Razel. I wanted to just make a quick little video. I hope you'll actually read the blog post below everything I wrote. It's all the things I'd like to say in a video, but it took me a little while to write it all out, and I won't be able to remember it all. But anyway, I'm getting ready to release this initial version of the Phase 3 HCG maintenance program, and I wanted to just give you a little heads up on what it's all about. And the reason I wanted to do that was because, well, first of all, you need to know that in order to know if you want it. But, initially, which I don't know, a couple years ago now, after I released the Phase 2 workbook, I knew I wanted to do something for Phase 3, but I really wasn't sure exactly what. And since I had released a Phase 2 workbook, it kind of seemed like what I would produce would be a Phase 3 workbook. And that's actually kind of what I said in the workbook then, was like, stay tuned for the P3 workbook. So, naturally, that's, what most of you guys have been expecting. And I've gotten lots of emails from you over the past couple years being like, hey, when's your P3 workbook coming out? To be honest, I didn't work on anything for a Phase 3 project for over a year after the first P2 workbook came out. And that's because I really had no idea what to put in it, honestly. I really didn't. And finally, after some time had passed, it became clear to me what the major things that were needed were for Phase 3. And really what it came down to was, we don't really need something to track our weight in Phase 3. I mean, sure, that'd be nice to have a few worksheets, and I can probably throw that together for you guys at some point if you want that. But I was like, that's not what we're needing in Phase 3 to actually stabilize and maintain. For Phase 2, tracking your weight and your HCG dosage and just all of those different things, and the P2 foods that you ate that are from the list. I mean, all of that's really helpful in Phase 2 because that's what keeps you motivated to stick to the diet and to see your progress and all that, right? But in Phase 3, it was like, well, what are we going to be tracking exactly? And I realized that's what we need. And we don't need to track what we're doing per se. I mean, you do, it's good to track, but the problem is we don't know what to track. Like, we don't know what to eat. That was the problem. The emails I get are not like, oh, I want to track for Phase 3. The emails I got were, I have no idea what to eat in Phase 3. Can you please tell me what to eat? How much to eat? That's what the big problem was. And that's when I finally kind of had a little bit of an epiphany of like, okay, what we need is an actual meal plan and the recipes and what to eat and how much. But that kind of hit me into another little wall because I'm not a recipe person. I don't make recipes. That's not where my creativity lies. I don't have a natural way with ingredients. And so I kind of was like, how am I going to do that? That's not something that I see myself being able to produce. But I got hit with another idea, which was like, you know what? Wait a minute. All sorts of programs that people put out there, there's no one single person that designs the whole program without any help. And so I realized I could hire somebody to collaborate with, and that's what I did. I found a recipe developer. She has been amazing. I spent a lot of time deciding how I wanted the meal plan to be, basically how much food each week, what types of ingredients, what the macronutrients were, like how much protein, how much fat, how many carbs, what types of low carb ingredients we're using. And I decided all of those things, and then we worked together to come up with meals, and then she actually devised the recipes. And so that's how that went, and it worked out really well. So that's kind of what this turned into, was this detailed meal plan with the recipes. But I couldn't leave it at that because it's really not just about what you eat and how much that contributes to stabilization and maintenance. And I think you guys know that by now too, that we may have all the facts in the world of what we should do, but in the end, it doesn't matter if we don't have the whole emotional and mental thing together. And it's taken me the better part of 5 years through trial and error, to figure that out for myself. Like, how do I think about things? How do I learn to think about food and my body? And when I overeat one day, how do I learn to view that? And when I undereat, or just, there's just so many different things that go into it. And how we view things affects the decisions that we make about what we decide to eat, after that. And so I really couldn't leave a phase 3 program without that. So essentially what I'm telling you guys is that this isn't a book. This is a whole phase 3 program. It's a membership site. It has a lot of videos. It's got a whole coaching video section that talks about the stuff I was just mentioning. It has cooking and shopping tutorials, resource guides, and of course all of the meal plan things. I tried to make it versatile. So for instance, there is the meal plan documents that have the recipes, both printable and for device version where it's all full color. But some of you may not want to follow a specific meal plan. You just might want to make your own plan, but know that the recipes you're using are good choices and low carb, and So I also have all the documents laid out in a cookbook style. So there's different ones like that where you can just pick different main meals or different breakfast recipes and maybe devise your own plan. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. I have a lot of, I have everything to show you guys. I'm a very visual person, and I feel like I get the best feel for something by seeing things visually. So I've put a lot of time into, for the actual sales page, which I will be showing you guys very shortly, probably this coming week here. I tried to show you as much as I could of what is in the program, so that you can get a really good feel for whether or not it's the solution that you think you need. So anyway, I'm excited to release it, but I'm also nervous. And as I wrote in the blog post below, there's been moments where this has been just a real emotional roller coaster, honestly, creating it. There's been days where I felt like really excited and proud of what I've created. And then there's been days where I felt terrified and like I don't want to release it after all, even though I've spent tons of time and energy and money putting it together. I just felt like it's a risk. You guys know when you do something that's new, you're putting yourself out there, and it's always a risk. And sometimes when you don't feel well, me, I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I just want to seclude myself and protect myself from any potential negative comments, or I don't know. You guys know how that is. So there's been times when I really did feel like that. I mean, there's been times when I was crying too, just because my brain, I've got health issues, and my brain felt so foggy, and I knew what I wanted to do with various parts of the project, but it was like I couldn't get my brain to do it. Like I'm trying to write something or trying to record this video tutorial, and I can't. It was so hard, and but I barreled through it, and now it's basically done, this pilot version. I do have more to add, but the basics are all there to give you what you need to get through phase 3, and I do plan on adding to it. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share with you a little bit of like a just introduce you guys to what it is that I'm sharing with you, just because, I know some of you may have been expecting a book, and it isn't a book, it's a whole program. And so as such, it does cost more than a book. And I didn't want you guys to have sticker shock, and if it's too expensive for some of you or not the solution you're looking for, that's totally fine. You don't have to feel obligated, of course, to do it. I just wanted you to know that this is what I was able to get behind as a project. In order to do something to completion, a project, you have to feel excited and motivated about it, and feel like it's the right thing. And for me, doing the program at this level and the value that I feel it provides, that was the only way for me to actually complete this program. That was why I couldn't make a workbook, because I'm like, I couldn't even get inspired with creating a tracking worksheet, because I honestly couldn't figure out what you were going to be tracking and why it would be helpful. So I honestly couldn't even think of how to lay one out. Like, I'm trying to think of the graphic design of the page, and I'm just like, I have no idea. So because that's not what's needed, or at least from my perspective. So anyway, that's just kind of a little bit in a nutshell there. And like I said, very soon I'm going to show you guys everything inside of it, and if it looks like it has the value that I've placed on it to you, then you will get a chance to take advantage of it. And then if not, no worries. You guys know that there's quite a bit actually of information that's more general information about phase 3 on my blog that's already free. So that's there, and it's, for what it is, it's fairly comprehensive. It's just not a detailed action plan to follow, which is what this is. So for those of you out there who have just really been looking for something like specific to follow, and you're just tired of yo-yoing up and down, with HCG or with any other diet, I think we all get to that point where we're just like, I am so sick of constantly gaining the weight back, and that's really what this program is all about, is really trying to put an end to that and learn the tools and the strategies for long-term maintenance. So, all right, you guys, I will be talking to you very soon, this coming week. Bye.